Jesus appeared again to some of the disciples by Lake Galilee. It happened like this. Peter, Thomas, Nathanael, James and John and 2 other disciples were all together when Peter announced that he was going fishing. And the others all agreed that they would go too. So they went out and got into the boat and started fishing. They fished all night long, but they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus was stood on the shore, but the disciples didn't realise that it was him. Jesus called out to them, "Friends, have you caught any fish?" "No," the disciples answered. They still didn't realise that it was Jesus when he called to them, "Throw your net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some fish." When they did, to their amazement, they were unable to pull the net in because there were so many fish. Then John said to Peter, "It's Jesus." As soon as Peter heard him, he jumped into the water and the other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish as they were not far from the shore. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals with some fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you've caught." So Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153 in all. But even with so many fish, the net wasn't torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." None of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" because they knew that it was Jesus. Jesus took the bread and gave it to them and did the same with the fish. This was now the 3rd time that Jesus had appeared to his disciples after he came back to life. When they'd finished eating, Jesus said to Peter, "Peter, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," he said, "you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." Again Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Peter answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." Then a 3rd time Jesus asked him, "Peter, do you love me?" Peter replied, "Lord, you know all things. Surely you know that I love you." Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the 3rd time, remembering how he denied knowing Jesus 3 times, just as Jesus said that he would. But now he'd been given the chance to say, "I love you" 3 times. Jesus looked deep into Peter's eyes and said, "Feed my sheep." On that special day beside Lake Galilee, Peter knew that he was loved and forgiven, and he was ready to be the leader of the followers of Jesus.